When you asked the question why at that point in time, after a number of difficult situations for you, what were your reaction to the answers that you found about yourself?
Honestly, I was sad. First, I was angry, to be honest. I was angry because what? I had all these attitude with myself, and not even first. It was with everyone around me, and then I had attitude with me, and then learning how to forgive me. And it wasn't everybody would say you got to forgive someone else. I don't forgiving you, and that's what that why and getting to know you is for. And then I became sad, not sad because I wasted time, because sad because I was losing that person that I knew, which was me, and learning my new norm and learning me.
For me, when I first started asking those questions to myself, I became disappointed in others. And then I became frustrated with myself. And the reason why I say it in that order is as I started to ask myself the questions why, I realized the impact negatively the people around me was having. And then I became frustrated with myself because I realized I was allowing it. So
But you didn't
when I
know
had,
better. But you
sorry,
didn't know better. But you didn't know better.
I didn't know better, but I didn't know better before I asked that question why. Now that I knew better, I was like, wow. Right? You know what I mean? Like ignorance was a beautiful thing,
You right about that. Like,
right?
you happy, you skipping, everything is light green when it's really supposed to be real green, green, but you okay with that because you don't know no better.
Yeah. I didn't know any better, right? But once I knew better, I was like, wow. And some of the disappointment was in people that were around me 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Like these were long relationships, but the quality wasn't there. And then to your point where you mentioned you felt sad, I felt sad because I knew that the changes I was going to make was going to put me in a situation where some people weren't going to make the journey with me.
Yeah. Um, I don't think I was sad because people weren't going to make the journey with me. Honestly, I was happy to be that, to be very honest. Let me tell you why. Because, baby, I was tired. Let me tell you, I was tired. I was exhausted because as a woman, and I remember my mother always used to say, you don't forget the bridge that brought you over. So, you know how long I was on the bridge standing still? You know how long I was pulling at folks to come? And when I was trying to make moves and then I go back to that same bridge that she told me I shouldn't forget, I was grateful. I was grateful. And I was glad that I finally was able not to forget the bridge, but to move past it and move forward.
Do you
Oh,
think then that's something that women experience more than men?
yes, because we've been taught to take care of, love on, make sure the world is okay, that we're being good women, because that's what defines us.
The caregiver, the empath,
Yes,
the
yes,
healer, the fixer.
all the things in the empath, um, feeling what someone else felt because you already know that if it was you, you would feel bad, you would feel sad. We already know what we would feel if it was happening to us. So of course we want to be an empath and know and feel their pain when we're not even allowing ourselves to breathe because we're taking on everybody's everything.
Feeling the pain from everyone else, but not feeling our own because it's being masked by the demands of others.
Yes, are they demanding it or are we just taking it on? That's the thing.
That's
They
the
they
question.
that's a big one because people ain't asking you sometimes. We just automatically do. We've been conditioned to do that. We have been taught to do that consciously and unconsciously. Because you think about what the patriarchal system has taught us about a good woman, what they look like, what they taste like, what they feel like, how smart they are, how much money they should or shouldn't have, how much of a man they should believe in. And if you are good when you're giving up everything and making sure he good, so you do that automatically with everyone around you.
That's interesting that you put it that way because I'm looking at my current relationship. She struggled with that with the previous guys. And the reason why I know that, and you know what, I'm opening up here. And the reason why, and it's kind of strange to see because you have someone that is so used to, as you put it, right, making sure that this person's okay, doing all this other things, to their detriment. Because when she was sick, the same men couldn't assist her in the way that she was assisting them when they weren't as sick, at least from a physical standpoint. Emotionally, mentally, perhaps, right? So when I have these conversations with her and I'm healed, I've done the work, as you mentioned, right? We're professionals, we have the certifications. Sometimes she'll try to do things, and I tell her, it's like, you don't necessarily have to do that because I've already did this, right? It's like, okay, okay, how about if I, right? So, for example, we ordered food and I don't eat meat, right? But in a previous relationship, when she would order food, she always like gave food, like a lot of women do, right? Let me cook for you, let me do all this stuff, right? So I'm eating my food and she's like, "Oh, do you want some of my food?" I was like, "No, it's okay." So she put it on my plate. So now I look at my plate, there's meat in my plate where I don't eat meat. Right? But in her mind, she's being helpful because that's what she was conditioned to do, right? So now I'm sitting here, this act of service has ruined my ability to eat my food.
But you think about that's what she was trained to do. Didn't even think she might be hungry later. She might want more. She thought more of you at that
Yeah.
moment. I remember, look, since we're being honest, I remember being in my past relationship and the way the house was set up, because we had air conditioners in the window. My I decided to lay on the other side. Normally in the summertime, in the wintertime, I lay in the front, but I know he was hot. He was hot natured. So let him lay on the side where he's going to get more air. And I laugh to myself now, damn, you let him breathe more than you breathe. That's how we were taught and conditioned to think that we had to care for someone else because guess what? We showing you how much we love you. We proving it by giving more. So we already automatically, and not even that we expect a return on investment, we already know that it might not be, but we want to be labeled as good wives, good women, good girlfriends, good all the things instead of being good to ourselves.